When the Iowa caucus happens and then the New Hampshire primary, the number that I heard thrown around is that the delegates that are apportioned because of those two contests and are around 5 or 6% of all the delegates that are available. Okay, that's not a lot. It's not a lot. But there's been, for decades, enormous focus on those two states. And both of them, as a matter of statutory law, say that Iowa will have the first caucus, New Hampshire will have the first primary. And there have been different points in election history where other states tried to be first in line. And New Hampshire and Iowa just said, well, move ours ahead of yours. We're going to be first, okay? We're going to be first. And one of the benefits of the Iowa and the New Hampshire, the caucus and the primary respectively, is that it's retail politics. New Hampshire is a very small state, and you could drive around it super fast. People have a lot of meet and greet, a lot of handshaking there. And in Iowa, it's a fairly large state. I think there's 99 counties, and it's just really a lot of driving, okay? I've been to Iowa on a number of occasions, a lot of driving. And there, it's not a very heavily populated state. So you've got meetings with 10, 15, 20, 40, 50 people in some of these smaller counties. Trump has turned everything on its head, having these rallies both in New Hampshire and in Iowa and all over the country with over 10,000 people, right? This is, in some ways, unheard of. Hillary can't draw a crowd to save her life. Bernie Sanders has got way more people, way more excitement than she could dream of having. But back to Trump. So these two early contests, Iowa, New Hampshire, and then it goes to, if my memory is correct, South Carolina, and then Florida. But the first two are going to have the net effect of having people fold and get out of the race. They just are. And the reason is because they can't raise money. People generally, not always, people generally stop giving money to a candidate who they feel just has no chance of winning, because it's sort of like throwing your money away. Well, if you can't win, why am I going to send him my money? And if he doesn't have money, he can't pay his staff. If he can't pay his staff, he can't have rallies put together. He can't have somebody calling up at media trying to get interviews. I mean, the whole thing just implodes. So after the Iowa caucus and after the New Hampshire primary, we are going to see a sudden thinning of the field. So now the talk is about how well Cruz is doing. For a while it was how well Ben Carson was doing in second place. Carson's numbers have gone down. Cruz's numbers have gone up. Now in the national polling data, Trump still has twice the support that Cruz does. But Cruz has put a lot of time and effort into building organizations in Iowa especially, and some in New Hampshire. So while Trump is thrashing everyone nationally in the polls, there could be a somewhat tight race in Iowa and in New Hampshire. Now, the people in the political world who do not want Trump as the nominee, they are searching frantically to find somebody who can come up to Trump and then either surpass him, which is unlikely, or be close enough to him throughout all the primaries that Trump gets to the convention without enough delegates to be the nomination. Because once there is one vote, when delegates are won in these primary contests and the representative, the delegate, goes to the convention, they are obligated by party rules to vote for the person who won the primary. Otherwise, why have a primary? It's just a farce. But once that happens, if there is not a nominee with the number of votes that are required, number of delegates that are required, then it becomes a free-for-all. Who can cobble together a coalition? You know, Cruz's people join up with Carson's people, and they join up with maybe Chris Christie has a few delegates, and they say, okay, we'll let you be the president, You get to be vice president, and I'll be Secretary of State, and we'll come out of this saying, here's our team. I've got to take a break, don't I? I'll be right back.